let's get this going. Reflection. Okay, let me turn on the music, actually. I was bumping to this piece by piece music, bro. This song bumps, bro. Don't turn like all the way down, but reflection. Let's go. Oh, is this a new song? No, it's not a new song.
Am I bothering you?
No.
Okay, just checking. It's hard to tell since you're always look so into when you're reading. It makes me scared to interrupt.
Well, it's within my expectations to be interrupted when I read here. It's mainly when I'm by myself that I don't like it.
That makes sense. I guess if you're here in the first place, when you're more ready to socialize, even if it takes a little bit of prodoring.
It's not so bad to be social if I let others do the work. So I can be healthy to put myself in a social environment every now and then. It's mostly difficult when I don't know anyone, or there are too many people, or everyone is being too silly for me to keep up with. Yuri glances across the room at Sayori Natsuki. Sayori has her head cooked back and her mouth open, trying to catch pieces of cookie that Sayori is left on the air. Has elaborating into the air, but the piece keeps bouncing off her face and hitting the floor. Them goofballs.
Maybe I should say something.
No need. They just ran out of cookie. Oh, what a waste.
They're really become good friends, haven't they? I'm happy.
Sayori seems particularly good at making that happen, but the two of them are both on the arrogantic side, so I suppose it works out well.
Yeah, come to think of it, you and I haven't had many chances to talk one-on-one, have we? Though that may be particularly my fault, since I'm supposed to be the one who's engaging club members.
Not at all. I probably formed a habit of drawing minimal attention to myself. The responsibility is equally on me, at least to display some openness to engage.
Well, what about during times like lunch? Do you meet up with friends?
I just read.
Oh.
But I like it that way. It feels nice to carry off again after a morning of classes.
Do you always read fantasy?
No, not always. I suppose it's all I've been reading recently, but only because I'm in the middle of the series. There are still 2 more books after this one.
I guess those long books suit you well, since you spend so much time reading.
Well, fantasy may be my favorite, but after that, I'm more or less indiscriminated to genres. I'll read anything with depth and maturity.
Oh yeah? Even like romance?
Well, there are a lot of books that have elements of romance in them.
Oh, come on, Yuri. You know what I mean.
Maka lowers her voice.
It's a guilty pleasure of mine. So I won't tell anyone if you do too.
Maybe more when I was in middle school. I mean, I was really lonely and people were mean to me a lot. So it kind of felt like, please don't make me think about the past.
Sorry, I just got super curious. You know, we should totally pick out a romance novel to read. That would be so much fun.
Absolutely not.
Really? Even if it was just between us?
Try asking someone who has no shame, like Natsuki.
Ouch.
I'm sorry. I swear I didn't mean that. Well, I guess it was my fault for pressuring you. I'm like that for things in my past too. You know, things I feel too embarrassed to re-experience. There's nothing wrong with growing out of things. It happens to everyone. For instance, Natsuki's interest in manga reminds me quite a bit of how intense I used to be about my own interests. It makes me think that she'll likely grow out of it too. Everyone grows out of childish stuff. Manga, I don't think so though. If you're really into manga, that stuff kind of sticks forever.
Hey, were you talking about me?
No, we weren't just.
Oh, we were just talking about how our intentions have changed over the years. When did you get into manga, Natsuki? Like a couple years ago, I guess. I was already sort of into it because before that, but I wasn't really going hard until then. Oh yeah? What was it that inspired you to get more into it? I don't know. I guess, let me think. It was after I discovered a series that I really liked. Yeah, I was just really fed up with a lot of things, and I got super into one series that I really relate to. I guess I had an edgy phase where I just hated everyone around me and wanted to be by myself. Hey, kind of like Yuri.
Monica.
Sorry.
That's completely wrong, so.
It's so cool. It's so cool that you both really found your thing. They're almost like opposites, but it sounds like they help you a lot through hard times. You know it. Wow, what the heck? Is that book even bigger than the last one you were reading?
It's technically slightly bigger, but not by very much.
How high do you think it could go if you stack up the whole series? Natsuki estimates by holding her hand higher above her head, sizing up an imagery stack. I should get one of my manga books that have 50 volumes long so that I can say I run more than you. Not that I have the money for that.
Please. That would hardly count that when your books only have a few words per page.
I know. I was just joking. I can never actually read books like yours. It's too boring for me.
Yuri shoots a glare at Natsuki. It's not boring.
Chill. I said for me, not for you. I can have my own opinion. I just think it's too complicated. Or whatever. Sayori, are those from the floor? No. Bruh. Why are you eating off the floor?
You didn't even do like the 5-second rule probably, bro. God dang. I love how I just have a giant cookie pillow. And it kind of smells like cookies.
Gross. Also, wash your hands before touching any of my books. You got germs on your hands. But my hands aren't dirty. Just do it. The oils are there even if you can't see them. Fine.
Sayuri trots out of the room and Natsuki follows.
Yuri, you look a little upset.
What kind of nerve does she have? What kind of nerve does she have to call my hobby boring?
Well, she did correct herself.
Hardly. She was so condescending. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. Oh god, I didn't mean to push the button. I don't mind if she thinks it's not for her. I already understand that it's not for everyone. But she knows well how much these mean to me. So how about just leaving me alone instead of needlessly telling me things you hate about it?
I'm sorry, Yuri. You may be right. This won't be the last time people have strong feelings about what they like and don't like, especially in the literature club. So I should figure out how to mediate discussions and keep them positive and constructive. For your record, I've always been impressed by the level of creativity in your books, and also your ability to get through them so quickly.
Thank you.
Okay, well, this is something that I'll have to think about and revisit. I'm sure I can help Natsuki find some common ground with you.
Common ground isn't necessary. I just wish to be respected.
Then, either way, I'll do my best.
I'm skeptical when it comes to Natsuki. I trust Monica, but I'm skeptical. I thought this was the end of the side story. I'm like, this was short. What was that? What the frick was that? It was like tapping. That was weird. Brr.
Okay, everyone. We have a special club meeting today. As you know, the Literature Club is a place where we get to share things that we're really passionate about. But that also means we should be mindful of how we respond to each other's feelings.
This music is a little bit too loud. It's a little bit too loud. There we go.
I think we have the chance to turn our differences into positive energy for each other.
Aren't you being a little dramatic about this?
This is important to me.
Well, sorry. I just felt like I'm being accused or something.
No, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I'm sorry if I came out that way. But our conversation yesterday made me reflect on the power of language, and I thought it would be a good topic for the Literature Club, don't you think? I'm sure we're going to have differences in opinions a lot. I need to make sure we're prepared to keep a positive atmosphere in the club.
If you say so.
I'm sure. The cool thing is about language is that it gives us a lot of different ways to express the same idea and emotion. We have a lot of control over how we want the other person to feel when receiving our thought. This goes for poetry, narratives, casual conversations, basically anything. For example, sorry, what's your favorite food? I have them organized by category. Should I start with snacks, or do you mean full meals? Should I include breakfast? Oh jeez. Okay, how about your favorite fruit? That's easy. Cherries. Really?
Cherries are freaking disgusting, bro.
I always thought cherries taste...
Exactly, Monica. Monica knows what's up. Cherries are disgusting. I have a cherry tree in the backyard. I never decided to go pick some because I hate cherries, bro.
Cherries are delicious.
What you talking about?
What? That's a pretty strong reaction. Well, I just don't understand how someone could take cherries or think cherries are nasty. How does it make you feel? I don't know. Sad? Defensive, maybe? Yeah, I got defensive.
Defensive? No, I clicked the button.
God dang it. See? The reason you had such a strong reaction wasn't just because I don't like cherries. Cherries are disgusting. It's because you felt your opinion was under attack. But that's weird, right? Something like taste is completely objective. But when it says something like, I think cherries taste nasty, I'm using objective language. I'm challenging Sayori's reality that cherries are delicious with my own, which is that cherries are nasty. Wait, hold on. How's that objective when you just said... How's that objective when you just said it was only your own opinion? It has to do with the way our brains interpret the words. You're talking about the reality of cherries, not your feelings about them. Like Sayori. Let's rewind for a second and pretend I didn't tell you that I think cherries are nasty. Good. So, what if instead of that, I said, I tried cherries and they're not for me, and it's not that kind of flavor I enjoy. Well, that's fine. As long as you don't call them nasty. Nasty is a nasty word.
Nasty is a nasty word. It's very nasty.
Okay, so cherries was some kind of weird example, but I think it gets the point across. This time around, instead of talking about cherries, I just talked about my feelings, and sorry didn't get this
defensive.
So instead of clashing with each other, it's like we received an invitation to talk about our differences. Yuri, you don't need to take notes. I'm not gonna quiz you or something.
I know that. I was just...
Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out. You can do whatever you like. But does everyone have their thoughts so far? Any thoughts so far? Yeah. I just feel like I should have put all my language through a filter just to protect someone's feelings. Well,
did I even read that right?
Yeah. I just feel like I shouldn't have to put all my language through a filter just to protect someone's feelings.
I think I didn't say I think I said should instead of shouldn't. My bad.
Well, you don't have to. The choice is yours on how you want to come across to other people. My only suggestion is as a tool to help you turn your differences into a positive experience rather than an argument. Right, Sayori? Whatever you say, cherry hater. Oh, come on. Sorry, I actually like cherries.
Prick. Bro, I really thought you hated cherries. I thought we could actually relate on something. Oh well.
Sayori, I actually like cherries. I was just saying that to help help demonstrate. What the heck?
I was so doped. Dopped.
I've been dopped. Whatever. I'm sorry, Sayori. I'll make it up to you later. How about a cherry sundae? You are welcome to adopt me any time, my beloved president.
Buying your people's loyalty. How deployable.
Oh, like you would turn down a free sundae, Yuri. You were certainly a fan of those cupcakes I brought in the other... Bro, you didn't even tell me about the cupcakes. Make dog versions, bro. Make dog cupcakes instead of cat cupcakes. They're way better, trust. I brought the other week.
I was reading and not keeping track of them.
Oh, that's enough. We're getting off topic. So now that we had the gist of it, how about we try it with something more relevant to the club? Like manga, right? Let's try to have a productive discussion about our differences in opinion. Yuri, do you want to start?
Well, I'd rather not, no.
Oh, how come?
Well, because I don't see how anything productive can come out from that. It's just going straight to a fight.
No, you'll be fine. That's why I'm here to moderate. Let's just have a calm and rational discussion. Yeah, give me a little more credit. I'm not a child. You don't have to coddle me or coddle my feelings. I always think it's more respectful to just speak your mind.
Respectably. Respectfully. Yuri's expression changes at that word. As Maka recalls, being respected was the crux of the matter for Yuri.
Well, the point of the excuse isn't exactly what it's exactly like.
It's fine. I have nothing against anyone's personality. You're entitled to enjoy whatever it is you like. I just prefer more depth and nutrients in my reading material. I look for stories that are imaginative and philosophicated beyond the surface level.
Oh, well, that's just a misunderstanding then. I thought you were going to say that manga is for children or something. Like, I don't hear that enough of that. But there's plenty of deep manga.
I'm not clueless about manga. I've read my own fair share when I was younger.
What? Are you serious? How come you never told me?
Because my past that point in my life, I really prefer not to revisit it. I prefer more mature things now.
Excuse me? Okay, hold on. I can jump in here. Let's try to keep things objective. Because if you keep implying that manga is immature, then aren't you implying that someone is immature for being into it? Well, maybe it's immature to judge people for having different tastes than you. Natsuki! Nobody's immature! I read Natsuki's manga and Yuri's fantasy, and I love them both in their own way. Okay. It's great that you like it, but I still find it boring. Boring isn't objective. Okay, it bores me. That's objective. But, the thing about,
This is ridiculous. I'm done. Do you see why I didn't want to participate in this? I knew it was gonna make people upset.
I'm not upset. Like I said, I don't care about what other people think. But I always get the impression that you secretly look down upon me. So I'm glad my suspicions were confirmed.
That's not true at all. You're making assumptions. You can't blame me for getting defensive when nobody ever has the least bit of respect for the things I am into. The only thing I look down upon is when people make fun of me for just being myself and trying to mind my own business.
What? Have you looked in the mirror? Tell me again how to respect after calling all my interests immature.
You can't.
Please stop. Please. You don't mean the things you're saying right now. Let's just be friends. I didn't mean for this to happen.
Well, it did. So, please, don't invite yourself and try to solve other people's problems next time, okay? Yuri's pieces words sent to the clubroom into a choked silence, and she gathers her things. She leaves.
Holy crap. I've never heard her sound like that before. She must be super peeved. Well, you weren't very nice either, so I was just saying, how did this happen? It's my fault. Yuri wasn't wrong. I should have tried to moderate in conflict when I know how bad I am at dealing with conflicts. It was a really stupid thing for me to do. It's nobody's fault, and it wasn't stupid. Everyone in the club is a nice person. No one would have expected this. But I guess we're sensitive about the things we really love. Honestly, she kind of brought it upon herself. Like I said, I don't care if you're not into manga, but if you actually look down upon other people for it, that's the kind of point I was trying to make in the first place. It's not about sugarcoating things, it's about recognizing and understanding our differences. Okay, but here's the thing about that. Yuri actually looks down on me. It has nothing to do with her word choice or anything like that.
Yeah, she's kind of right about her looking down on you. You are like 4'8" or 4'9". There, better.
So I see what you were trying to do, but I really think the problem here is her. Not just like the way we talk to each other, right? I mean, Yuri isn't like that. She's a lot sweeter than you give her credit for. I'm sure she'll be reflecting on this. I actually think everyone should. It'll be fine. I'll figure something out. I always do. Wow. I'm just like saying that instinctively. I'm just setting myself up to cause more problems. This isn't your fault, Monica. You don't have to beat yourself up over it. If you ask me, it's good that the truth finally came out, because I can just move on now. But, it's fine, I promise. Let's just get our mind off this, okay? In fact, it's a good opportunity to read some manga without having to worry about feeding Yuri's superity complex. Don't be mean. I'll I'll talk or read manga or whatever you want, but don't be mean to my friends, okay? Sorry. I'm just bitter. Everything will be okay. I mean, I don't have the answers, but I at least know what we're all good people and don't want to hurt each other. This will be a learning experience. A golden experience.
Monka says that, but her uneasiness is given away by how much she has to force the resuming tone of her voice. This was bound to happen eventually. Natsuki and Yuri have always engaged with each other the least out of everyone, and this is the reason. As Sayori and Natsuki proceed to distract themselves with manga, Monica sighs to herself, unable to shake her worried thoughts. Will the club really have to just come to terms with the fact that some members will be incompatible with each other? Monica desperately doesn't want to admit that, and she knows Sayori doesn't either. But for once, a solution doesn't seem to be in sight. Oh, that's the end of the side story. Okay, I'm gonna take another break. Break time. Okay, let's get it on. Okay, okay, I'm back from my break. Let's start part 2 on reflection. Bye. I got food. Open up. A new day arrives. Sayori arrives at the classroom early than usual. That is not late. As she enters, it appears to be empty still. So she sits down at the desk and pulls out a sheet of paper, primed to jot down her thoughts. Sayori has made a habit of scribbling her thoughts and feelings onto paper whenever possible, as it tends to serve as her best inspiration for poetry. My heart feels vacant because a ship sailed away. Yo! Ay! Natsuki? Natsuki pokes her head out from behind the closet door. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. But it would have been a lot more awkward if I didn't say anything. I doubt you want me to listen to your poetry thing. Yeah. Thanks for realizing that. Should I let you finish that up then? Oh no, it wasn't. I mean, I just do it whenever I'm conventive. I don't know. You're not interrupting. Where's Monica? By the way. Oh, she's out in the hallway. Huh? Why? Well, just in case she runs into Yuri. Sometimes Yuri's just too nervous to come into the club room by herself. So, geez, does Yuri really let things bother her for that long? She can't control her feelings. For some people, it's really hard to cope when you get a bad thought in your head. Maybe you can distract yourself for a little while,
But as soon as it's just you and your thoughts again, it comes back. Yeah. I just want us to have a normal club meeting. It's a lot easier to pretend like it never happened if you all just ignore and move on. I don't want to be bothered by it. It's so stupid. Her opinion of me doesn't matter anyway. Besides, it makes me feel really guilty, and I hate that too. It's okay. It's okay to have feelings. It doesn't make you weak. Let's figure this out together. Fine. Only because you're good at this stuff. Let's try to come up with a happy scene. Maybe that will help us understand where your bad feelings are coming from. Well, I was happy the way things were before we had to have that conversation yesterday. What part of the conversation made you upset? Was it when was it Yuri being mean about the manga? Maybe. I doubt it though. Because my friends and other people make fun of manga all the time, but I just brush it off and ignore them. But something about it just really got to me this time, and I hate that I'm letting that happen. Is it because it came from Yuri? No! Why would that matter? I mean, well, maybe. I hate that she thinks she's so much better than me. Just because she likes to pretend to be all sophisticated. Yeah, that's what it is. At least other people decide that they don't like me or manga or whatever. But Yuri acts like she's too good to even give it a chance. I'm sorry. Everyone deserves a chance. Yeah, exactly. Would you give Yuri's book a chance? After this? Obviously not. What about before this? Well, I would until I get bored, which wouldn't take very long. But if you actually kept in an open mind, then it's not hard to realize that a story can be deep and meaningful without being needlessly complicated. I see. But I like Yuri's books. Yeah, but I like manga more, right? What'd she say? Yeah, but you like manga more, right? Sayori shakes her head. I like them both. I like them in different ways, but I like them both. I mean, the manga is really honest and fun and easy just to let go with. And the fantasy has a lot of interpret and uncover, and it's really rewarding to have some good quiet time together with it. But most important thing is that both the manga and the fantasy are true to themselves. So I love them both. I think there's room for both of them to be in the same club together. And I just feel like maybe they have more in common than you would think. How do you get along with someone so well? I always get into fights with people. Like first it was with Monica, and I was new to the club. And then it was you, and now it's Yuri. And I'm always like, oh, that person is being such a jerk. And if they just realized that, then we could at least get along. But nobody else has this problem. I just keep running away from the reality that that everyone's just a jerk to me because no one likes me. And I don't know why, and I don't know what to do about it. I don't know what's wrong with me. I hate it. Natsuki?
Sayuri puts a comforting hand on Natsuki's shoulder.
You're a wonderful person. You deserve to be loved as much as everyone else. Everyone has different ways they like to communicate, you know? And sometimes that makes it hard for us to understand each other. I think sometimes we get lucky and we make friends who are really good at the same kinds of communication. And it feels like you magically connect with them. But other times, even if both people are really nice, it's easy for them to misunderstand each other or to get the communication wrong. It's something that Yuri struggles a lot with, too. It can be really hard, and it takes a lot of, reflection and self-awareness and vulnerability. I'm bad at that one. Vulnerability. I always have to be the strongest. What do you mean? Tell me about that part of you. Well, it sounds stupid, but I'm really used to people being mean to me. Like my friends, and I guess my dad. Like when I don't get good grades, or even stupid things like if my room isn't clean. So what am I gonna do? Cry about it? If I let myself get upset, then it's just letting them win. I'm better than that. I'm better than all of them. So things always have to be everyone else's fault. It feels like if something goes wrong, and there's even a tiny hint that it might be my fault, then I just get really angry and find ways to blame everything else instead. Do you see yourself as better than Yuri? If I said that, then I would just sound really full of myself. No! Our thoughts and our feelings are two different things. Even if you don't like our feelings, we have to understand them if we want to learn more about themselves. That's a part of vulnerability, you know? Accepting that we have feelings that we don't like. I hate that. My feelings make me a bad person because my feelings just want to tell me that I'm so much better than her. That she's a judgmental know-it-all who's stuck in her edgy phase and that I'm just way above that garbage. But I'm terrible for feeling that way. You're not terrible. You are not, and are not your feelings. But you are not your feelings. Say that to yourself out loud. Fine. I am not my feelings. The way that I like to picture it is that those feelings are like your roommate. You live in the same house and you gotta see each other every day. And if you ignore each other most of the time, you're gonna run into each other every now and then. It's gonna make you feel like poop. So, the other opinion is to get to get to know each other.
Did that say option? That did say option. I'm an idiot. Option.
You can communicate and learn from each other, and maybe even help each other change for the better. Does that help you understand? How do you know so much about this stuff? I just have a roommate that can be really hard to get along with, called depression. Depression? But you're like the happiest person I know. I'm not my feelings. I want to be a good person like you. Huh? You little sweetheart. You're all good people. We're all good people. You and Yuri and Monica. And I think Yuri will eventually learn that about you. Natsuki remained silent, feeling a little overwhelmed.
Despite Sayori's kind reassurance, a compliment mixture of pain and sadness seems to fill her, as though feeling from the wound inside her is a result of her vulnerability. No, it wasn't as though she was inflicted a wound after becoming vulnerable. It was a thought she began to rediscover an old wound, one that cannot simply be bandaged and left alone any longer.
Yui? What are you doing all the way over here? I was looking for you.
Let's turn on the frickin' main music. That's a little bit too loud. Please don't yell at me.
Oh, I'm not going to yell at you. I just wanted to say that I'm sorry about what happened yesterday. It was unfair for me to put someone in the same spot like that. Next time I won't just I just won't try to jump in and solve everyone's problems. I guess it's a bad habit of mine.
You're not mad at me?
I thought you were the one mad at me.
I was so awful yesterday. Yuri curls up, recalling the details of the argument. I can't even have a normal conversation without saying something wrong and making everyone upset.
Hold on. That's not what happened yesterday at all. That's not what happened at all.
Bro, this music is good, but bro. I want it at like 1%. There we go.
Hold on. That's not what happened at all. Let's talk about this, okay?
Yuri pauses for a second and manages to nod. Monica takes a seat next to her on the staircase. I'm having a lot of negative thought patterns and I can't get away from them.
What kind of negative thought patterns?
Like everyone hates me. Especially Natsuki.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't think Natsuki hates you.
How do you know?
Well, because...
Monica thinks back to the time that she herself found herself in an altercation altercation with Natsuki. At the display of maturity from Monica was enough for Natsuki to revalidate her own feelings as well.
I think Natsuki is just naturally defensive. I think she acts mean when she feels the need to protect herself. But she's really not a bad person. In fact, I think she can be really thoughtful and considerate. She just, I guess the way it works is that she wants to receive some degree of kindness first before she feels comfortable returning it.
Oh, but that means the burden is on me, and I don't know how to say the things that make people like me. Every time I open my mouth, Mary shakes her head at herself and tugs at her hair. I'm running out of water.
It's okay, Yuri. You don't need to beat yourself up. I think everyone would like you if they had the chance to get to know you.
Well, unfortunately, the opposite is true. That's why I am not talkative anymore in the first place. Because everyone used to think I was weird and talked about me behind my back. That's just what happens when I draw attention to myself. Natsuki even said she found it more respectable when people speak their mind, so I did, and then she hated me anyway. That was enough to confirm my fears.
But Sayori and I like you, and we've gotten to know you a lot by now, right?
Yuri doesn't seem to have a response.
Hey, what do you think of Natsuki?
I don't think about her.
That's not what I meant, really.
I just...
I was just wondering if you had an opinion of her.
I do.
What is it?
Natsuki seems to bring out the worst in me, and I feel really ashamed of it. I like to think of myself as a fairly sophisticated person. So, for someone to just treat me like I'm inferior despite my tastes, that's just the worst kind of insult coming from someone like her. It makes me think bad things about her. But everyone else seems to like her, so the only explanation is that it's me who's doing something wrong again. And my feelings about her are wrong. And I'm wrong to get upset over something so childish and unconsequential. Oh.
No, Yuri. Feelings are never wrong.
Well, they're not right.
That's the thing. Feelings are never right or wrong, They're just the state of being that we don't always have control over. But that doesn't mean they have to control us. I have that feeling I learned around when I first started the club. We can hate ourselves for feeling a certain way about things. Or we can, just acknowledge that they exist and try to understand them better. I can never be mad at you for just feeling a certain way. It's about how you handle them. I think working through feelings is a great opportunity for teamwork.
Yuri wears a dejected expression. You make it sound so easy. You're so mature and so good with people. I feel like such a child in comparison.
Oh, Yuri, I'm far from perfection. But these are learned skills. They didn't come naturally to me either. It's really hard to reflect on yourself and separate your feelings from your thoughts.
I just want to be a good person.
Well, I think it takes a good person to get this far.
That's not good enough. I want to be able to communicate to her.
Communicate what?
How I feel. How it makes me feel frustrated and upset when she's so negative and dismissive of things that mean so much to me. And how it reminds me of me. Because I know what it's like to feel misunderstood and angry at people. I know that tells yourself you're better than everyone else, and it's just a defense mechanism. We're just people. We're fragile and unstable. But I'm just tired of that getting in the way. I can't understand when the peace is disturbed like this.
Yeah, you can't focus on your ring when the peace is disturbed, right?
Because the Literature Club should be happy for everyone. Monica looks at Yuri in adoration.
I feel like Sayori must be rubbing off on me, because I really want to hug you right now. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable.
No, I mean, well, if you wanted to, then I wouldn't really mind, so Monica pulls Yuri into a short embrace.
You're so gentle. And I love when you communicate your feelings. I feel lucky to get to see that side of you. I'm sure Natsu will too.
I'm going to write her a letter.
A letter? Oh, a letter? What a great idea.
Just because I'm not good at talking, especially under pressure. I always let my feelings get the best of me, and I forget to say all the important things, and I say things I don't mean.
Well, I think a letter would be wonderful. Such a nice way to communicate.
Yuri's face hardens with determination. People don't naturally gravitate towards me like they do for you and Sayori. My personality just isn't suited for that, and I wouldn't want it to be. But something I've learned is that friendships don't always just magically appear out of thin air. For instance, I never would have seen myself making friends with someone like Sayori. We're opposite in a lot of ways, but I'm friends with her because she put so much effort into understanding me so that we can get along. I think it was the same with you. You both gave me a lot of time and patience. And I wonder if she feels the same way.
Natsuki?
Yuri nods. I always thought that if I wanted to make more friends, I had to be somebody that I'm not. And there's a type of person or a magical formula I have to follow in order to make someone like me. And that's just like me to think of that. Always so occupied with myself, and I fail to understand other people. Yuri shakes her head. Friendships happens when you think about the other person. When you offer time and effort to understand them and respect them and trust that they also want to be a good person. That's what I learned through my observations of the Literature Club.
Observations?
Monica is caught by surprise. Yuri has always kept to herself so much that it's unusual to hear her suddenly talk about the club like this. But Yuri's gently smiles to herself. You always let me listen to your thoughts about people. Sayori too. And it makes me happy because I learn a lot of things.
That's so sweet. I had no idea it meant that much to you.
Maka never thought much of it, but in the past few weeks, Yuri always assumed to be especially attentive when it comes to the problems and concerns of others. Always wanting to listen and learn more about her friends in the club. It's true, Sayori and Maka are naturally more comfortable with other people and can move easily work through situations of conflict. But that doesn't make them better people. Everyone has strengths and weaknesses, and the capacity to improve, the capability, to improve. And the first step towards improving oneself is reflecting on self-awareness, and something that Yuri never gave herself enough credit for, but that Maka can recognize as an incredible trait. And with that, her confession in the club is restored. Confidence. A very shy girl with long, pretty hair is wandering and blushing in lunchtime hallways, her fist pressed against her collarbone. How long is this chapter? Jeez. I feel like it's been like an hour. Let's get this going though. When she finds the literature club president's classroom, she stands at the door, glancing around her before peering inside. Maka is sitting and chatting with a group of unknown friends. Yeah, as expected, this was a bad idea after all. Suddenly, Maka glances towards the door, making the girl panic and duck down out of sight, before she can regain composure and decide for sure to leave. The classroom door gently opens.
Yuri? What a surprise to see you during lunch.
Yuri squeaks a response. Please help me. Please.
What? Is everything okay?
Yuri shakes her head. I don't know how to write letters.
Oh, thank goodness. I thought there was some kind of emergency.
Maka briefly glances over her shoulders at her other friends.
Do you want some help? We can go find an empty classroom or something.
Is that okay? I feel bad taking you away from your friends.
It's totally fine. I promise. We weren't really doing anything for any. One sec.
Maka trots back to her classroom, says something like, I gotta go, to her friends, then grabs a pen off her desk before returning to Yuri.
Okay, let's find somewhere quiet.
Yuri nods and follows Monica to the two of them set off. How are you today?
Huh? Me?
Well, yes.
Oh gosh, sorry, I was just caught off guard. I'm doing well today, just tired. I never seem to get enough sleep during the week.
How come?
Oh, I don't know. I think I'm just easily distracted. I get really stuck in things. I start neglecting the time.
Me too. I do that too.
Hey, this classroom is empty. Let's go in here.
After peering inside, Monica opens the classroom door, and two of them enter. Yuri's moment of relaxation ends. She watches as Monica pulls 2 chairs up at the same desk, then obeys as Monica's beckoning her to take a seat. She stares down at an empty desk.
You nervous?
I don't want to do this.
We don't have to. We can come up with something else.
Yuri shakes her head. It's my chance to do something good. I need to take innovative. I don't know.
Gosh, you must be really determined. I know how hard it is to step out of your comfort zone. I'll be sure to encourage you.
Yuri pushes through her anxiety and grabs a handful of lined paper from her notebook. Then she picks up her pen.
Hey, Yuri.
Monica?
Hey, you're left-handed. That's neat.
Yeah. Now I don't have to worry about bumping your arm. Monica playfully rubs her shoulder against Yuri's.
Sorry, I was just being silly, I guess. Anyway, how about we start by listening to different things that you want to say to her?
Yuri thinks. I feel embarrassed all of a sudden.
It's okay. How about some of the things you said to me yesterday?
But never mind, I guess I can try. Yuri thinks for a moment longer, then tensions evident. I don't know. Then she writes the word reflection. This is about my reflection on our behavior. The key question is why we act like this towards each other, but have been able to separately be friends with Sayori and Monica.
That's me.
Yes it is. So, Yuri thinks, I've been able to befriend the two of you because you've taken the time to understand my needs and respect my interests. The same goes for Natsuki too. We started off as pretty hostile to each other because I was so worried about getting what I wanted. I'm reading this in the wrong voice. God dang it.
We started off as pretty hostile to each other because I was so worried about getting what I wanted. But she wanted to be respected more than anything else. Once I stopped making it all about me, she was able to do the same. I want to do that too.
Did I read that in the right voice? Bruh, I'm messing up already. I want to do that too.
So what kind of things do you want to do for her?
I want to do the same things for her that I like to receive. I like when people respond positively to the things I talk about and not just brush me off. Like when my feelings are taken seriously. And I like it. I like when you and Sayori trust that I want to be a good person, even when I'm not doing a good job at it.
Let's write those things down.
Okay. Here, write some things down.
I think the most important thing is to remember here is that Natsuki is feeling vulnerable, so we need to make sure that that the letters put her first. It's hard when you're feeling hurt, but it never helps just to tell someone all the things you're doing wrong. I think first you have to make sure that they know you're ready to respect them and listen to them and admit the things that you feel you could do better. Then finally, you asked what you could do, what you like to do in return. What does that sound for the structure? It could be 3 paragraphs or 1 for each of the points.
I like that. My thoughts were so disorganized. I had no idea how to come up with any kind of structure. You're so amazing at these things.
Oh, stop. You've done so much more than I have, you know. You spend so much time reflecting and being more open-minded. That's a hard thing for anyone to do. All I'm doing is helping you put it in a piece of paper. So I think you're an amazing one.
Monica gives Yuri's hand a quick squeeze. Hey, you getting a little bit too touchy, okay, Monica? You touching everybody. I mean, you're putting your hands on people a little bit too much. I notice how you squeeze freaking Natsuki's freaking shoulder in that one freaking scene. Bruh. Stop putting your hands on people. But as she lets go, she caught by surprise when Yuri curls her fingers and hooks Manga's hand in place. What's happening? Yo, y'all gotta chill. For a while, they sit like that in silence, save for an occasional scratching of Yuri's pen against the paper. Yesterday you told me something that I'm thinking about a lot.
What was that?
The thing about how feelings aren't right or wrong, and that they're just a state of being what we need to come to terms with. It made me think about how a person's behavior isn't always just how they decide to be. It also made up of their past experience and their insecurities. I think that helps me see other people as actual people, rather than insignificant side characters who are out to get me somehow.
Is that how you feel about Natsuki?
Yuri nods. But in reality, everyone is always trying their best, and everyone wants to be happy. Maka peers over at Yuri's paper, but to her surprise, Yuri pulls it in closer, partly covering it with her arm.
I have to be able to read it to help out, you know.
It's okay. My thoughts are a lot more organized now, after being able to talk to you about it. Now that I'm actually putting it on paper, I realize I'd really prefer others not to read it. Yuri laughs softly to herself, a rare expression. I'm
kind of glad to hear that, actually. I somehow kept finding ways to butt into the whole thing. I've done enough damage. But it's also been so wonderful talking about this. I mean, I always thought you were really smart at it, but...
Yuri smiles. I will always be terrible at these things. People are just so comprehensibles. They're so comprehensible to me. I'll never get the hang of being one.
But listening to you so much has really helped me make make sense of some things. So just don't call it damage, please.
Maka gives Yuri a gentle smile. I can't believe I came to this club looking for fancy geeks, and all I got was real friends who value me. Is that a joke?
Is that a joke?
Of course it is.
I still can't tell with you.
Sorry.
No, I love it. Please, never change.
As you wish. Yuri glances at the clock. We're almost out of time.
We'll be able to finish.
Before the end of the day, probably. But I don't want to come to the club the same day that Natsu reads it. I'm too shy.
I can give it to her instead, if you like.
Yuri nods. As long as you promise not to read it.
Of course, I promise.
Thank you. Yuri exhales and the two stand up. I'll message you when it's ready. Monica nods.
Good luck. I'm here if you need me.
Yuri returns a nod, and then the two of them depart. Dang, that was a long freaking side story episode. Dang, bruh. Okay, I'm gonna take a big freaking break after that one, bro. Oh, gosh.